I'm going fishing with Wiener Pup today. Weens, we gonna wreck them or what? We are going deep into the jungle, as if we haven't already been doing that in the first place. These past few fishing missions I've been on, I've really tried to hone in on the bare bones and the rawness of what fishing, in my opinion, should be. You know, getting off of the boat, just finding places that people don't normally go. With there being so much water in Texas, you've got a lot of options. You can go to small lakes, big lakes, creeks, rivers. There's just a freaking plethora of places to wet a line. I'm on a bigger lake today, but I won't be fishing the big water. I'm gonna go as far back in this creek as I possibly can to hunt down some fish. I'm trying to find the warmest water possible. Right now I'm looking at 51 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm surrounded by brush, which also holds heat as well. It complements the warm water. But yeah, it's just Scoot and I. It's a full-on solo mission today. I'm excited to bring you guys along with, raise Kane and tear him up, hopefully, you know. No promises. 52 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm about to jump in and take a freaking bath, man. That is so warm. That's warmer than the air temperature. Damn. First bait I'm tying on, my favorite. My one and only true love, the finesse jig. It's ridiculous as to how much I fish these lures. Like, it's almost bad. But it catches so many damn big fish. Like, my biggest fish of the year came on it in Mexico. It was an 8-pounder. Caught like multiple 7s and 6 already this year. It's just like, why would I switch? Why would I not throw a jig?
Yeah. Oh wow, dude. Is that the one I want? Ammo bug? No, I'm looking for this is my favorite one. Where is that at? Favorite color. Blue baby. There you are.
Blue baby. Nice. Look at that. Now, if you were a bass, would you eat that? Because
I sure as hell would.
no, it broke off.
Big fish. Like, that was a big fish. Like, that was, like, you don't break off this time of year. That's unacceptable. That was a big fish. Oh, no. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. That was a log. Wow, he broke me off clean. That makes me wonder if it was like a dogfish or something. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I didn't break off. That wasn't a fish. Oh my gosh. What in the titties just happened there?
I let him eat it too. Like, he had it for a while. Why'd that break, huh? That's so weird. I actually have no idea. Like, this is brand new line. I might have hurried that knot a little bit, but it didn't break at the knot. It looked like something bit it. That broke off clean, damn. Damn, they're barely eating it though. Like, the bite is super subtle. It's just like one of those bites where, like, you pick up the jig and there's just a fish. You just feel a little bit of weight moving off. Oh, I just got bit. He's on it. I got him. There we go. That's a good one. That's a good fish. That's a good fish. He cranked it. That's a nice one. That's a good fish. Boat flip. Yeah. That's what we came out here for. Ate it how he was supposed to, just down the gullet. I'm finding that I'm getting way more bites the farther and farther I go back here. I was kind of worried that it was going to get colder, but apparently it's not. Oh, wow. Look at his tail. Look at those crazy black blotches, too. Those are some of the darkest blotches I've ever seen on a fish. I don't really know the reason behind it, but I do know that they get it this time of year during the spawn. Dude, you need an actual crawdad. I can't believe you just freaking ate it like that. Like, straight kamikazed it. Back she goes in the water. Oh, that water's clear. Haha, we did it. First fish. Okay, so I caught that fish a little far off the bank, like not really on the brush. With these cold nights that have dipped down in the 20s, I think these fish are moving off of what they would normally relate to. Like, I'm not getting bites right on that shrubby stuff. Like, that looks really good, but I'm getting bites probably about 3 feet off of it and about, you know, 8 to 7 feet of water. So they're just probably a little tentative to move up. So much good water back here to fish. It's pretty overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. There's one. Oh, another one. God, they are in this creek right now. That was really cool. Like, that was super sick because there's like this huge bend in the creek and it makes almost like this point. On the left side it's shallow, on the right side it drops right off. An amazing ambush spot for a bass. It's exactly why I got bit there. And again, choked it. Probably about a 1-pounder. Good stuff. I'm hyped right now, you guys. This is deadly. It's the best time to fish, man. They're so freaking chunky this time of year. 1-pounders turn into 2-pounders and 8s turn into 10s. Back she goes. Yes.
I just saw, I think, it was a sand bass, like a big one.
It came here for largemouth, but it'd be kind of cool to catch some white bass, especially if you guys have never seen a white bass before. They're kind of a cool fish. I'd like to show you what one looks like if I have the correct box, which I'm not sure if I do. Lucky, did you bring the white bass lures, or did I forget them again? Oh wait, here we go. Might even catch a big bass doing this too. A lot of big bass get caught this way, just on the smallest freaking crappie jig imaginable. Okay, let's try this out. No guarantees, but if they're in here, they'll eat this. They should eat this at least. Just a little soft plastic with a jig. Oh, this is where they're gonna be. Oh, that's a nice largemouth right there. What? So like 4 sand bass. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be on. I'm gonna get them. Then I'm like, oh wait, no, there's a bunch of largemouth in here. Oh, that's confusing. There's one. Oh yeah, that's a nice fish. Nice fish. Largemouth on the crankbait. Oh no, that's a freaking nice sand bass. Holy smokes, that's a nice sand bass. Definitely one of the bigger ones I've ever caught. I thought that was a freaking largemouth. Yeah, that's one of the biggest sand bass I've ever caught my entire life. Oh my God, get in here. Holy smokes. Look at the size of that sandy. I thought it was a largemouth. He hit it so hard. So that's what, that's kind of what I was after. The main goal is to come out here and of course flip up some big bass. But since this water's so warm, these guys are also in this creek spawning. That's a quality sandy. Okay, bub. See you later. Oh my God, tons of bait. Tons of sand bass. Those are all sand bass. Oh my God. I just saw like literally 1,000 freaking sand bass. Oh, there's one. I just got bit by a bass. And he's on. That's a good fish. That's a good fish. That's a big bass. That's a freaking, oh my God, that's a nice fish. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's a nice fish. Don't come off. That's a good one. Good bass. Really nice bass. Woo! Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yep, come here. Yep. Come here. Yep. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come all the way back in this creek. I catch a 6-pounder. Let's go, man. I'm pumped now. Oh man, I'm freaking shaking. He ate it so good. You guys, that was like a same situation as that. I think one of my last fish, there's a point that comes out and I threw right to the right of the point and that's what that fish was at. That is a super long fish. Like if this fish was filled up, this might be like a 7-pounder, but I'm guessing she's probably about 6 or high 5s. This has been quite an interesting day. To think just a few days ago there was ice in the bank and now I'm in the very, very back of a creek catching 6-pound Texas largemouth bass. That is a freaking stud. Look at that fish. That's a biggie. Look how clear that water is, man. He's majestic. You're freaking beautiful, you know that? This late winter, early spring bite for me has very much revolved around going as far back in the creeks as I possibly can and catching a big fish. It is just so weird, and I don't know if these fish are coming from the lake or they just stay here year round. It really does confuse me because this is shallow water, and I'm thinking on a day like, you know, when it was 22 degrees that one time Bryce and I went out, what do these fish do? Do they just go straight lockjaw? Do they get into like these crevices and just don't move, or are they still active back here, or do they move out? It's just, it's one of those things where you're just like scratching your head, but yeah, that's a good one. Well, I almost was about to turn around until I saw literally a trillion sand bass and caught that 6-pounder. So I'm gonna keep going deeper. I'm the only one back here. Not a single soul. At least I hope. Full on John Boat, just chilling in the water. That's weird. You guys see that? It's like a 16-foot John Boat just in the water. Totally random. All right, buddy had a bad day. Oh, what the hell is that? Those are a bunch of sandies. Oh my God, so many sand bass. So many sand bass. Like literally 100 sandies. Good ones too, like big ones. Like those are big sandies. Oh, there's one. Got one. Yes, on the jig. That's awesome. Another sand bass. Look how much, that's like a good one. This one compared to that first one I caught is like, yeah, I mean, first one I caught was freaking huge. This is like a normal sized one. God, it's like fish today are just crunching after this cold front. Here you go, little Sandy. Back in the water you go. They fight hard. They're like a mega bluegill. Yeah, I think this might be it. I'm sure it goes up farther, but there's a pretty juicy log jam. And I'm noticing it's getting fairly consistently shallower. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting through that. So This might be my cue to turn around, which is not bad because I've got a lot of really good water I can fish on the way out. And I also want to double up on that one spot where I caught pretty much like all my fish other than that giant. But yeah, there it is. That's the end of it. Oh my gosh. That's got to be a bass. If that's a freaking white bass, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm sure you guys saw my rod. Please be a largemouth. Oh no, what's going on here? What's going on here? Oh, it's a freaking white bass. Oh my goodness. That thing hammered it. Another big one. It's like the big one's like the crankbait. Look at the size of that white bass. Holy moly. White bass apparently like bluegill crankbaits. It's the second fatty I've caught. Good one. Oh, there's a largemouth on the crankbait. Nice job. About time we got one on the crankbait. Wow, he hammered it. Like he freaking wanted that bait. He is fighting really nicely. Damn. It's a pretty good fish. Oh, don't hook me, please. There we go. Sweet. Bluegill crankbait. I was hoping I'd get the freaking largemouth on this crankbait that all I've been catching is white bass. It's a nice little 1 pounder. Good stuff. Looks like he's been hooked a few times. See you, bub. The reason why I'm throwing the crankbait right now is because I've already fished a lot of this water with the jig, and I'm just trying to zoom on out of this little neck down where it's like super skinny. I'm trying to get back to that deeper water where there's more volume and hopefully some more fish. But I will say that creek is, it ain't bad. There's some fish back there, no doubt. I just, I think I'm a little heavy-footed when it comes to fishing that skinny water, and I spooked too many of them. So, you know, I could have had a few more like 1 or 2 pounders, but yeah, I ran up on them way too fast. So I'm throwing the crankbait now to cover some water, find some stragglers, some fish that are maybe a little more fired up. That fish was pumped. He wanted that bait. He hit it right at the freaking boat. Is that a fish? That's a fish. Oh yeah, that's a largie. That's a good one. That's a pretty freaking good largemouth. On the crankbait again. I like this this pattern, just covering water, trying to find some fish that I met. Oh, there's a big one under him. There's a big one under him. Eat the crankbait. Oh God, he's like trying to eat it. Oh, it's like a 3 pound. Oh, it's like a 4 pounder. Screw that. Damn. The crankbait's getting him right now. I like this. Sweet little bluegill crankbait. I think it's funny, when I was reeling that fish in, I spooked a bunch of white bass, and I think that there's a few largemouth behind each school or pod of white bass. Every like, I'd say 50 yards, I'm finding that there's a pod of sandies, and sure enough, right behind them is some largemouth, and I'm just casting in the pod of sandies, and they will eat the bluegill crankbait, but they're not as keyed on as largemouth are. So I think that's the pattern. I just kind of accidentally stumbled upon it. Healthy fish, man. Zwing. See you, bud. I decided to set up the big camera. I haven't done this in a while. This is like the old John B. We're just gonna kick it old school style in honor, of course, the recent 1 million. You got to never forget your past and where you came from. Tripod it is. How's that angle? Does that look good? Are we working here? Is this mind frame, buddy? Are we okay? Let me back it up just a little bit. You know, that might be a little bit better. All right, we're gonna roll with that. There's one. He's on. Sandy cheeks. What's going on? These white bass fight so surprisingly well. All right, watch out, Luck. In she goes. I'm sure some of you guys are probably thinking, why the hell are you putting these fish back, John? Like, white bass are such good eating. Believe me, I know, I've had my fair share, but honestly, I find that the larger ones don't taste as good. Just personal preference, and I haven't really caught anything too small today. Like, that's a pretty freaking big white bass. You could call that like a juvenile hybrid if you really wanted to. Yeah, they're fun. If you've never caught them before, you definitely need to get on it. They're quite a rip, as you saw there. Jeez, man. All right, I got a quick little tip for you guys. There's one thing that you really always need to pay attention to, primarily when fishing banks, but specifically creeks. One thing to keep in mind is how the shoreline looks from above. I know that may seem very obvious, but it seriously can tell you a lot about where you're fishing. Of course, graphs are great and you can tell where the drop-offs are at, but you know, that's only when you're on top of the spot. I'm talking about when you're approaching an area, when you're coming up to the zone and you haven't had time to scan that area. For example, I don't know if you can see this, but to my right, we've got a very gradient slope. This is where all of that sand is getting loaded up to when this river or creek, whatever you want to call it, is rushing, when the current is really rushing. All that current is pushing that sand and debris onto this side. So you've got like a little bit of a flat to your right. Now, generally speaking, when you've got the flat to your right, or I guess my right, you then have super deep water to your left, which is now my right because I switched. But like, you get what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, so take a look at that bank right there and then pan over to this bank. You can tell it's more cut because of the fact that all that current is scooping up that debris, scooping up all that sand, those pebbles, those stones, and literally dumping it to this side, creating it flat. These little spots can be super awesome when it's warmer. Bass will use that as a zone to push bait fish and shad up into. Right now, I haven't found too many fish up in there, and they're generally on the deeper side because the water's still cold. But keep that in mind. If you're not on top of the spot and you want to anticipate a cast, like launch your crankbait, look for stuff like this because this is the juice when it's warm. But again, right now hasn't been the best for that pattern. Can you guys even see me? Is that sun super bright? What's the deal, son? There's one. Yes, good one too. Nice fish. Yes. Last minute largie. Sun is setting. And I went back to the spot where the day started and I got myself a nice 2-pounder. Let me get off this spot real quick because there could be more. Just excuse me for 1 second, please. Jig definitely was the deal for today, but I got to give some credit to the crankbait for showing up on some of those fish that were schooling with the white bass. That's a freaking good one. Wow, I kind of underestimated. That's like definitely a nice mid 2-pounder. Why wouldn't you want to fish right now? It is just juiced. I can't wait for you northern guys to get the thaw so you can experience the thud of a jig bite once more. Oh, I love it so much. Thanks for hanging out. I really enjoyed that. Whoa, alrighty then. A little sassy.
Beans, I'm so sorry, girl. I have bad news. I lost your dog bed. Well, this is the second dog bed we've lost on the lake. Usually when I take her fishing, I have this little dog bed, which you guys have probably seen in the videos. The first boat bed that she had, I lost at Lake Arlington, and today I lost another one. So I just keep donating dog beds to lakes, and I guess that's my thing. So I'm not gonna lie though, it was like torquing like Cardi. It was extremely windy, and I think I hit a rogue wave, and the bed's usually behind me, so I don't watch it fly out, and it flew out. So luckily she was on my lap. I never like kind of let her roam around for that reason because she's so damn light. We're gonna go to PetSmart now and get you a new bed. I'm sorry, I know, I'm such an idiot. You ready? You wanna get you a new bed? Let's get you a new bed, yeah. We're here, come on, let's go. Lucky, try that one. What do you think of that one? Ooh, maybe you like that one a little better? What do you think? You're really giving it some time.
I think we found the bed.
All right, what do you say, Scoot? Let's get out of here. All right, we did it. Mission accomplished. You happy now? You don't hate me anymore, good? We've now reimbursed Scoots for her bed. Again, sorry about that. I promise won't happen anymore. But I thought I'd share with you guys something kind of weird that was going on in there. Kind of a select crowd when you go to PetSmart at like 8:30, right before they're about to close. Interesting folks in there. Anyway, I was checking out, and the people in front of me were like returning something, and I was like, what are they returning? Like, I just, in the back of my head, thought like, oh, it'd be funny if they were returning like a pet. And they were returning a giant snail in a bag, like a living snail. I didn't know you could do, can you do that? Like, is that a thing? Just thought that was super weird. I thought about returning her just because she's so freaking broken all the time, but I lost her receipt, so yeah, that won't be happening. Okay, let's bounce back to the crib and talk tackle. I want to go over how I caught today's fish and just go into depth just a little bit more as to how we made it happen on the water. All right, there's the first one. Okay, let's talk baits. We are back at the pad. I am going to take like 2 seconds out of your day at the end of this video to talk about the two baits that did dirty. I know you guys see this in the video. I know you obviously watch me catch these fish, but it's good to kind of sit down one-on-one and discuss the crunch, the bite, the munch, how those fish were taking the bait, putting it in their mouth, and getting hooked. We got two rods here, one of which is a 7-foot medium heavy action rush by favorite. It fishes more like a medium action, to be completely honest, and that's exactly why I use it for crankbaits. And this was the crankbait stick. I think I probably could have caught more fish on this crankbait if I had thrown it more. Also, feel like I shouldn't have to say it, but I'll just say it anyway. Everything I talk about will be linked in the description below, so you guys can pick it up for yourself and go crank on some toadies. All right, next setup we've got is the old reliable. I sound like a freaking broken record, but this is it. This is the rod that has been by my side throughout this 2019 fishing season. This is the 7.2 rigged rod. This is the money. This right here is the wand. It's the stick. It's the ultimate dangler. It's one of my favorite rods that I have in my boat. This exact rod has caught a lot of really nice fish this season. Did I mention what it was? It's the 7.2 medium heavy. It's a perfect jig rod, perfect Texas rig rod. On here we've got a 150 size digital chip reel, spooled up with some primo 20-pound fluorocarbon. It's like my staple when I'm fishing jigs. If I'm fishing super heavy stuff, it's 22 or 25. 25 is like horsehair though. It's just so hard to manage. And the bait that got the job done, which is this one right here, is a XL jig by Bait Buffet, 1/2 ounce. I like 1/2 ounce jigs. Cool thing is with a 1/2 ounce jig, I can fish deep and shallow. It's a happy middle. And to bring that whole presentation together, we've got the Bandito bug. Anyway, those are the tools. If you guys want to pick them up, linked in the description below. I keep saying it, you gotta freaking do it. Hope I didn't bore you to death there, but I wanted to kind of touch base on everything that caught fish today. And I really want to advocate on helping you guys out when you go out in the water, because I get a ton of questions, a ton of comments asking, you know, like, what's the bite like? What are you using? What color is the jig? So on and so forth. So that's why I put this at the end of my videos when I do catch fish. It's like a kind of a session that we have, like a fishing talk session. Anyway, hey John, you're rambling. So that's gonna do it for today's epi. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Be sure to subscribe and like this video if you thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the hay and get ready for yet another fishing mission tomorrow. I'll catch you guys in the water as always. Folks, keep fishing. Never stop.